Let's talk about something we've all seen happen. A great idea, a big new plan that just doesn't stick. Why is that? Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the blueprint that really successful organizations use to manage big changes and turn those ambitious plans into results that actually last.
I mean, seriously, think about it. How many times have you been part of a huge new initiative? It launches with all this energy and excitement, and then, a few months later, poof, it just fizzles out. It's a super common story, right? Organizations today are dealing with what experts call unrelenting change, and honestly, most are just struggling to keep their heads above water.
And here's the number that should make us all pause. Research shows that a staggering 70% of all change initiatives fail. 70%. And the reasons? Well, it usually boils down to the human stuff. Bad communication, people not really being on board. And this isn't just about wasted money. It's about burning out your best people and missing huge opportunities. So the real question is, how do we get into that successful 30%?
All right, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the challenge itself. Then we'll define the field that's built to handle it. After that, we'll explore 3 really powerful models for change, and we'll do a deep dive into one called action research. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together in a cycle of constant improvement. So we know organizations are in this, well, turbulent environment. And to get through it, you can't just be reactive. You absolutely need a planned, systematic way of doing things. And this is exactly why the entire field of organization development even exists. It's all about building the capacity to change, not just endure it. So what in the world is organization development, or OD as people call it? You'll often hear it called the field for the times, and for good reason. It's specifically designed to help organizations not just survive change, but actually lead it. It's the formal playbook for making transformation really truly work. Okay, this classic definition from Richard Beckard might seem a little academic, but it's packed with good stuff. Let's pull it apart. It's planned, so it's not a panic response. It's organization-wide, meaning you can't just change one little piece. And this is the most important part. It uses behavioral science knowledge. In other words, it's about using what we know about how people work to make change actually stick. So no matter which definition you look at, you'll find these 5 core ideas. OD starts by accepting that change is a constant. But it's also optimistic. It believes we can always get better. It takes a big picture, systematic approach, and it's all grounded in the science of human behavior. But the real key is that it's about proactively managing the change you want to see, not just putting out fires. Okay, so that's the what. But how do you actually do this stuff? Well, it turns out there isn't just one way. There are several really powerful frameworks, and we're going to take a quick look at the 3 big ones. So you've got a few different angles here. Lewin's classic model is all about getting people ready for something new. You unfreeze the old way of doing things, move to the new way, and then refreeze to make it stick. Then there's the positive model, which is so interesting. It flips the script and focuses on what's working. It asks, what are we doing right, and how can we do way more of it? And then you have the action research model, which is all about getting everyone together to solve problems using data in a continuous loop. Now, for the rest of our time, we're going to zoom way in on that last one, the action research model. There's a really good reason this is the foundation for most modern approach to change. It's built on 2 incredibly powerful ideas, collaboration and continuous improvement. This model has some serious history. It actually goes all the way back to the 1940s with Kurt Lewin. Yep, the same guy from the unfreeze, move, refreeze model. He had this brilliant insight that research is basically useless if it doesn't lead to a specific action. From that simple idea, it grew into this collaborative process, and it's still a cornerstone of the entire field today. I just love this quote because it really captures the spirit of the whole thing. It's participatory and democratic. See, this isn't about some expert in a suit coming in and telling everyone what to do. It's about developing practical knowing together to achieve a goal that everyone agrees is worthwhile. It's a process that you do with people, not to them. That's a huge difference. So if you want to boil it all down to one core idea, this is it. Action research is all about closing that gap between thinking and doing. It's not about spending 6 months creating the perfect plan and then just hoping it works. It's a living, breathing loop. You take an action, you stop and reflect on what happened, you learn from it, and then you take the next action. And you do it all with everyone involved from the very beginning. So what does this cycle actually look like? Well, it all starts with identifying a problem. An expert might help facilitate, but the key is that the team gathers its own data to figure out what's really going on. From there, you diagnose the issue together, plan an action together, and then, you guessed it, take the action together. But, and this is the part people always forget, it doesn't stop there.
You then gather more data to see what happened, and that feeds right back into the start of the next cycle. It is a continuous loop of learning and improving.
So why does this cyclical approach work so much better than what most places do? Well, let's just put it side by side with the traditional way of managing change. I mean, the difference is night and day, right? Traditional change is almost always top-down. A decision gets made in a boardroom and pushed out to everyone else. It's also focused on a solution that someone already decided on. Action research is the complete opposite. It's collaborative from the start, and it begins with diagnosis, not a solution. It doesn't pretend to have all the answers up front, and maybe most importantly, it's not a one-and-done event. It's a continuous cycle of getting smart.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, this model is so effective because 1, it gets everyone involved. 2, it forces you to make decisions based on real data, not just gut feelings or assumptions. 3, and this is so important, it actually builds the organization's muscle for change. It teaches people how to renew themselves. And finally, it fulfills that original vision from Kurt Lewin. It directly connects good research to real practical action.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. Think about your own team, your own organization. Think about that one challenge that just never seems to go away. What might happen if you stopped looking for that one silver bullet solution and instead you started a real cycle of diagnosis, action, and evaluation? Because that, right there, is where real, lasting change actually begins.